Hey kids, do GIDDS. That sounded terrible. Let me start again. An introduction, it sounded really bad, right? An introduction to get it done days. There you go, that's better. If you're anything like me, you spend a noticeable amount of time of your working week focused on busy work, emails, internal meetings, chasing people up, responding to questions, and so on. Now, of course, they are things that need to happen to keep the cogs turning in the day-to-day, but they don't really add an valuable outcome for either the client or the customer or the project that you're working on. It's just the churn, it's stuff. And the problem with stuff is it's easy to be boxed in with stuff because, of course, by doing stuff, you create stuff. An email sent will trigger a response. A response will trigger off a response, and you get the idea of the cyclical nature of these kind of things. And I'm a big fan of Cal Newport's concept of deep work in terms of turning off the distractions, the pings that pop up, the green dots that flash, the emails that drop down from your browser and so on. Turning those things off, even removing yourself from the environment and focusing on one thing until that one thing is done. It's easier said than done because quite often when you remove yourself from that environment, you find that you're not enough inspiration for yourself to do the creative work that needs to be done. And if you think about this on a team level, on scale if you like, I might be one person of 5. And if we're all dealing with busy work day in, day out, how are we ever expected to synchronize in order to collaborate and align our energies as well as our kind of creativeness to produce the outcomes that we need to produce? And that's where get it done days come into the equation, really. They're really simple. If you think about it like this, you've got 7 hours in a day. You allocate 1.5 hours for breaks because they're essential. And then the rest of the time you think about focusing in on the task that needs to be done. And if you do this as a project team, it's really fascinating when you think about the maths behind it because of scale. Ultimately, we're talking 5.5 hours of focused work for one person. If you're a team of 7, say, that's 35 hours of focused work in one day. When's the last time that happened? That's a whole week almost. Think of the value that could be created if you were to do that. If you, as a team, were able to clear the decks and say, today, we're going to come together, we're going to collaborate, we're going to focus on this thing, and we're going to get this thing done. What done is to be decided by you as a team. But when was the last time that happened? I've done it recently with some folks I'm working on in a project, and the outcomes were extraordinary. In advance of the Get It Done Day, we were really struggling to come together. We were really struggling to align our energies. And actually, we had really different interpretations of what needed to be done. So we agreed we would turn everything off. We would focus for a day on the work and on each other in a structured way where we were able to come together, articulate what needed to be done, go away and do it, peer review each other's work, because sometimes we were working in pairs or even on our own. And then at the end of the day, bring it all together and see what had been achieved, see what needed to be done next, and step away from the work and call it a day. And we achieved much more than before. So I've written about this in an article, and I've also created a really simple flow that you can, well, essentially grab, take, make it your own, give it a go and see how it works for you. I call them GIDDS, Get It Done Days. Obviously, hey kids, do GIDDS, still sounds bad. But if you're going to give it a go, do let me know because I think this is a really useful way to get to where you need to get to without the exhausting energy that can be expended through busy work. So let me know how it goes. Bye.